Hi everyone, welcome back to another scrapbook process video, and thank you for joining me again today. So I am using this sketch that I showed you here, and what it is, it's a sketch from Scrapbook Generation, and Allison Davis made a class, and she called it her 6x6 class, paper pad class. And she's done 2 classes so far where all you use for the paper is the 6x6 pads. And I have to tell you, I love first one is okay. The second class is amazing, and I hope she continues to do them because I'm going to use just 6x6 papers in this class, and that you get so many layouts with that. And then not only that, but the one I'm using here, you might have seen, is a bonus sketch. So you have the regular sketches that she normally gives you with all the sizes and yada yada, and then you have a bonus sketch for, I don't think she does a bonus sketch for every one of them. I can't really remember, it's been a while, but for quite a few of them. So basically you get 2 out of 1. So if it was a 1-page sketch, she'll give you a bonus double-page sketch off of that 1 page. Or if it was a 2-page sketch, you got a 1-page bonus off of the 2 pages. And it's just amazing. I love it. So what I'm doing here is I'm cutting down all, well, not all, but a few of my 6x6 papers that I wanted to use on this layout, and I'm cutting them to 2x3. And then I went ahead and inked all the edges with black ink, and I turned the camera off for that. I didn't figure you guys needed to sit there and watch me do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and start building the right-hand page, and I like this layout. I'm going to alter the sketch in a couple different ways, actually a few different ways. So a lot of times when I use a sketch, you probably know that I basically just use it as an inspiration to start, and then a lot of times I will go from there on my own. This sketch called for 4 3x3 photos. You can see that I've added 3, but when I went to, so it was a sketch for, I believe, either 8 or 9 photos. And when I went to make the layout, I realized I had 2 of the same photo. And so I didn't want to add it on there twice. So what I did was I just left that photo out. And instead of adding a photo in this 3x3 spot where a photo is supposed to go, I'm going to put this box here. And I just cut another piece of paper from the 6x6 from the 6x6 paper pad. And I'm also going to alter it because on this very right-hand side of this layout, it calls for a 4x4 photo to go next to that 4x6 photo. However, I didn't want to cut down my 4x6 photo that I had because I couldn't fit it into the 4x4 size and make it look okay and not lose what I think is important in the picture. So I just left it at 4x6 and I just put it there. And so the little 3x3 squares are a little off. They're not off, but they just, I guess they're not 3x3, but they'd probably end up being maybe 2x2. I don't know what they are now. I just went ahead and still added the 2x3 squares. You might have seen me do that, and then added the photo over that. And I feel like that's another way that you can change your, layouts or sketches to work for you. If you end up having an extra or one less photo or an extra photo, you can change the sizes, or if it calls for a pattern paper piece in one spot, put a photo there if you need to. And such and such, where I needed the photo or where it called for a photo, I just put a piece of pattern paper there. And I am going to actually end up putting my journaling there. So before I went ahead and glued all these down, I wanted to set them up just to make sure that it was going to look good. I wouldn't have the same patterns next to each other or the same type of pattern. I do have this star pattern next to that busy circle rainbow paper, but I'm okay with that. I'm sorry if you can hear the background noise. My cat is clawing on the scratcher. I'm okay with it being like that in that one spot. I wouldn't want that all over the place, but I really wanted to spread out. I had 4 of those yellow pieces, and I believe just 3 or 2 of all the other patterns. But I really liked the yellow because obviously my son is wearing the yellow shirt, so it really brings your eye around the page quite a bit. It looks like I actually could have added another green one to the very right hand side, would have been good, but I don't know why I didn't. But it's too late now. The layout's done, and I like how it turned out. Now I am taking, when I put all of my embellishments on my cardstock, I put all of the science-y type ones next to each other. So when I did a layout, I would know to use all those. And the reason I'm using the 6x6 papers for this layout is because that one black pattern there that's kind of got the black background is very much like the Science and Earth. It's the one that I wanted to use with it, but I've already used up the sheet of the 12 by 12 size because the opposite side had the stars on it. So I just went ahead and I used the 6x6 pad, and I've also, so not only did I use up all the sciencey stuff from the 6x6 pad, but I also got it all used up from all the embellishments, at least the sciencey type ones. So that is another thing that I really love about the class, is because if you get a paper collection and the embellishments, everything to go with it, at least for me, I seem to always end up with a ton of leftover embellishments and stickers and no paper. And so then with this 6x6 class, I feel like I can get more layouts out of it with just this small paper pad and not have to pay for another collection, which would also include, you know, another sticker sheet and all that stuff. So I love the 6x6 classes. Again, if I had to choose just one, I would take the 6x6 too. The first one I wasn't super crazy about, but it was still good. So, and I'll still use those sketches, but now I'm going to go ahead, and you can see I just picked out some black thickers. There's nothing fancy to them at all. I was trying to play around with before I started putting the title down. I wanted something there. I thought about these hearts. I played around, but the earth one, so that heart that I just tried was kind of like earth patterned, and I don't know, I just didn't like the color. The blue one, you could see where it stuck out in between the circle part of the R, so I didn't want that. And then I just decided to not put a heart there for now. I liked the blue one as well, but then I thought it really would go down in this bottom left-hand corner really well because of the dark blue spot on the top right. Now I have something dark blue on the bottom left. So I just went ahead and glued down the tile again. I cut that part out so you guys wouldn't have to sit there and look at the back of my head as I tried to line it up. And like I mentioned, they're just plain black thickers that I glued down. And I've actually used up quite a bit of that sheet, though. I'm quite happy about that. So some of the elements that I add in my clusters, I add black inking to, and some of them I don't, like the little beaker jars that are sitting all in that thing, or the spacecraft. I didn't add any inking to, but I did that paper that looks like notebook paper. I don't really have a rhyme or a reason. A lot of times if things just have a white outline, like the planet here in this cluster, then I won't, but if it's just a word or a phrase or something, I will. I went ahead, and what you saw me cutting a moment ago, this little red word sticker, it was a quote bubble that said Science Fair, but I didn't want it to say Science Fair since I already had the title that said Science Fair. So I just cut the word science out of it and called it good. Now here what I did, and this is also something that's in the sketch, and I didn't realize it until I just went to show you guys how I did it across the entire layout. So because I added a 4x6 photo on the very right hand side and not a 4x4, I didn't realize that the fake stitching look that I did with my black pen doesn't evenly line up across the two pages, but I had already done it, and I'm pretty sure probably nobody's going to notice. But I love people when they add stitching to a layout. I think that it looks really good. I don't have anywhere to put a sewing machine of any kind at this point. I probably could find the room, but it's not something I really want to invest in at the moment. It's just something for the future. And so, but I do use a lot of fake stitching. You know, I think it looks just as good, maybe not as good, but you know, it looks really good having that fake stitching line too. So, and that's one of the things I really like about Allison Davis's layouts, is she's always got like these black stitching or stitching lines everywhere, and it looks really good. So I decided to go ahead and kind of follow the sketch part and add the stitching on there, and I think it turned out pretty cute. Just a little something else, kind of adds the black around the page from not only the patterned paper with the black background, but the Science Fair title and everything like that. So I'm just going through here to see if there's any more you know, ephemera pieces or anything that I want to use, die cuts. I was kind of looking for sayings and something to go up here. So you can see that I went ahead, one of the 6x6 pattern pieces was like a notebook paper. So I just trimmed it down to be a small, I think that size is 2.5 by 2.5. And I didn't want it to fill up that whole box because I still wanted you to see the box. And I put a couple word stickers on there. I felt like they looked really good, and I had put a couple word stickers down in the cluster on the bottom left. And I'm also going to have the word sticker that's on the, so far right now, in the cluster on the right hand side. So I went ahead and added a couple word stickers to the journaling, and I am going to do my journaling in that box. I do my journaling not on the camera, but we can talk about that in a few minutes. So I decided to go ahead. I was struggling a little bit with where to put these ephemera pieces. The planet one and this kind of atom looking one really kind of threw me off a little bit, but once I put them down there together, and I also added a couple word stickers in that bottom right cluster because I had 2 word stickers in the other cluster, so I figured if I added 2 word stickers in that cluster, it would look good. And then I had this quote bubble, and I was on the fence to use it on this one or to save it for, you know, like an 8x10 layout that I've been doing, where I've taken the stickers or the quote bubbles that has the year and using those. But I decided to go ahead and use it on here since I didn't know how many more layouts I was going to get out of this collection. And so it just says 5th grade. And he was in 5th grade, this is his 5th grade science fair. So, I mean, everybody in the school could do it, but it just goes for his grade. So I went ahead and added that quote bubble up there. There was another one I tried using, but it was that same yellow color. And since that yellow color is all over in the boxes, I didn't want to use them there. But I like the way the 5th grade one looks at it. I like the way it looks. The thing that was throwing me off, though, is because I felt like the 2 clusters on the bottom were on the outsides of the layout, and the 2 clusters were on the top were kind of close to each other on the top. So I decided to take some of these extra die-cut stars and add them around. So I'm adding a larger one and a smaller one in each of 3 different areas. And I kind of made new cluster areas when I did this. I was just kind of trying to break up the difference in the up and down, the up, and then down of the 4 other clusters that were already on there. And what I'm doing is the big star in each group I'm putting down with a glue dot, and the medium star I'm putting on with foam tape, and then I'm going to get out some of my enamel epoxy sticker stars, these things here. And I'm going to add one of those into each cluster, and it's not going to be popped up, it's just going to be glued down. Oh, actually, no, that's right. I was going to do the stars, but then I decided to try breaking up the stars with some of the enamel circles. So what I started off doing, and you're going to see me kind of fiddle with this red one quite a few times. Right now, in the 2 on the left, I have a red and blue star and a circle, and I decided to break that up a little. So I'm going to take the red star from this middle one cluster, and I'm going to switch it with the red orange star that was up in the top right cluster, and that kind of just breaks up the colors of them so that 2 of the clusters don't have the same color, and then the last one does. It has totally different ones. I went ahead and turned off. I thought I was done, did my journaling, and added my date, and then I decided I wasn't too crazy about everything. So what I decided to do was go back, and I'm adding 2 of the sprinkle shaped stars with the smiley faces on them, and 1 of these epoxy stars that they're just tiny with no face on them. And I'm adding 2 of the face ones, 1 of the plain one, in each of the main 3 cluster areas to kind of add just more stars around and just to break it up just a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not 100% crazy with the way the clusters turned out, but I still like it. It's a good layout, and it got the story told. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying back to school week. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm happy to be back scrapbooking. Now it's just time to clean my room, right? All right, see you next time. Bye.